You know, I discovered that God will not use proud and selfish people. I learned that the hard way. I did not know I was proud and selfish, because my definition of pride is somebody who's arrogant, somebody who puts other people down. All I have been was, I have been determined to succeed. My success story just kept going up. And then for the next 10 years, I was doing what I was doing. And you know, during this time, I also became a Christian. I realized that I like being a Christian. I started to do Bible studies, and then I learned how to become a Bible teacher. At the same time, I was running corporate. And I felt good about that. I mean, what's wrong with that? I didn't realize that I was becoming proud, because it's subtle. Being prideful is actually when you become self-sufficient and you become independent. I became so independent of anyone else. In fact, I was teaching the Bible, but deep in my heart, I was telling myself, I'm a president of a corporation, I'm receiving big money, and therefore, hey, I must be good, huh? But I was not talking about that. I simply became self-sufficient and independent. And I remember one time, Pastor Peter asked me, Danny, I think you're doing such a good job in the ministry. Why don't you become full-time? You know what I told Pastor Peter? I said, no, I don't think I will be. I'm okay being a corporate person. At the same time, I'm okay teaching and preaching and heading the training department of CCF. And then Pastor Peter said, I think you should consider full-time. I said, no, I don't need it. And you know, Pastor Peter said one word. He said, don't you think that's being proud? I said, absolutely not. Okay. And you know, that started it. I was depressed and I was blaming God. Can you imagine at the peak of your career? I mean, 45, president of a company, very active in the ministry, and all of a sudden you will realize that you will not be able to walk and you're paralyzed. It was God's way to tell me that you are becoming proud and you need to be humble. I did not know that. I had no idea at all that being humble is God's plan for all of His children. You know, the idea of having an eternal perspective helped me a lot. Now, if you were given this offer of going to the United States, whole family, how would you feel? You'd feel blessed, wouldn't you? I have all of this savings and all of this success anyway, and we are going to the land flowing with steak and butter. But you know what? I didn't realize it was God's humility lesson 102, 103, and 104. All I did was to become self-sufficient and dependent on my bank account and not on God. So what did God do? He removed the source of my pride, the source of my self-sufficiency, and we were almost down and out. But my wife during this time said, maybe God has plans for us. And I could not understand it. I said, why me? I have not, you know, I have not been doing anything wrong. And I discovered that I may not be sinning big sins left and right like other people, but I discovered that pride is something that God hates the most. And He had to remove everything so that I will have to turn to Him. And I was telling God, God, what's next? And only at that point did God tell me, now you're ready. God is opposed to the proud, but gives grace to the humble. I'd like you to consider being humble. And the only way that you can become humble is to obey God, listen to God. And in my experience now, all the more I realize that the best route for you to become humble is to be a discipler. Because a discipler is the one who models Christ-likeness. And Christ-likeness is humility and selflessness. So, learn from it. Don't do it the hard way. Okay? I did it. I learned it the hard way. It was painful but worth it. And I praise God He did that to me. To God be the glory.